our barnyard in honor of Bob Lusterkamp, ornery Vietnam vet that decided that he was going to be my dad. It's called The Legacy of Love after him. The barn quilt was made by another military family to be placed there. We have always had our horses and our cows and some chickens, and quite honestly, we call it Charlotte's Web Barnyard because all sorts of creatures end up there. And the goal is to have equine therapy as well as recreation. And we have been very blessed with Doc Christie, who will be assisting with the equine out of her clinic, as well as Gates of Hope. When people join together and you add animals, miracles happen. Funny story about the barnyard. Bob Lusterkamp. We started out with 4 horses here. Annie, a beautiful American draft horse who's now retired. Paco and Cash, who were a pair of cutting horses. And then an Appaloosa who was kind of spunky as well. But we would ride. Dad would saddle them up, and he had rules when he rode because you were supposed to put everything away and you couldn't have your phone. And they would saddle him up and they would bring him up, and he'd tell me it's time for a break. And we were just getting started, and I would take all the calls, and we were going through our pasture riding, and the phone rang, and it was an elected official. And I answered the phone, and I was dropped back in the 4 of us that were riding so that I could take the call. And I was talking to this elected official when Bob and the other veterans that were riding with us reminded me that self-cares are important, and so is your time connecting with your horse. So he came by, and let's just say that my horse took off through the field and my cell phone went flying, and there was a whole lot of 4-letter words going as my horse was taking off. And he laughed and reminded me of what the rules were. And that's kind of how the rules still are today. If you're down there connecting and trying to find that peace with the animals, because they recognize what we're feeling and how we're feeling, but it's a great way to release. Just like at the Freedom Dog House with the dogs, they are an amazing tool to heal. So those horses have soared the nest and have either became angels in heaven or retired. And we have a new pasture of horses. So the horses that are in the pasture today, there is Posse, and she is the paint, and she was a gift to me from White Earth Vietnam veterans as my spirit pony. And then there is Jessie, and there is Jackson, and there is Little Pistol. And the veterans have been loving on them for the last few months, continue to do that. So enjoy all of our animals at our Legacy of Love Barnyard.